Hello friends, Ash here with Gents. How are you? I'm pumped because there's more new fragrances coming. Yeah, I just did a video, this week in fragrance video, like a couple days ago. And I talked about the new Hugo Boss coming out, the Scent Magnetic, along with their Hugo Jeans release that's coming out, and a couple others, new Tom Ford. And I was pretty excited. Pretty pumped because even though that's not a ton of stuff, it's something. And I'll take anything at this point. That's what she said.
That's what she said? Wow!
It's been hard out here lately, especially on the designer side of things, just nothing new. And right after I did that video, as always happens, and it's edited, it's ready to go, what happens? More fragrances get announced. It's like, months and months and months and months, nothing. Second something new comes out, ooh, excited. Do a video, oh, more new stuff. Your video is null and void. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some other new upcoming fragrance releases. Paco Rabanne has a little, Carolina Herrera has a little, some good stuff to talk about. Let's jump into it. And guys, I do want to remind you, maxaroma.com, twistedlily.com, if you shop at either of those websites, use the code GENTS10 for 10% off your order, save a little bit of money. And then also, of course, my new fragrances that came out in November, in case you haven't heard 52,000 times. Terra Nova, Jet Black Enigma, and Blue Ridge. If you order any of these from Michael Malul's website, use the code GENT10 for 20% off, and there's a link to those in the description as well. And I'd say that's your best place to pick them up because that's going to be the cheapest place to pick them up. So what are we going to talk about first? Well, let's talk about the new Paco Rabanne. And what is that new Paco Rabanne? None other than Paco Rabanne Invictus Victory ELIXIR. Yeah, you heard that right. Another ELIXIR fragrance. And actually, that's not going to be the last ELIXIR that we talk about in today's video. So yeah, I guess all the fragrance brands in the world, at least on the designer side, took a look at Dior making Sauvage ELIXIR, and they all thought to themselves at the same time, ELIXIR, that would make a good flanker name, wouldn't it? Why haven't we done that before? Let's do that. Yeah, I guess let's buckle up for some ELIXIR releases this year. Although to be fair, Paco Rabanne has done 1 million ELIXIR, so by doing Invictus Victory ELIXIR, they're just kind of keeping on that ELIXIR train. And this is, of course, everybody's favorite thing, a flanker of a flanker. Because you had Invictus, and then you had Invictus Victory, flanker number 1, and now Victory ELIXIR, flanker 2, flanker of a flanker. Discover Invictus Victory ELIXIR, the pinnacle of Invictus intensity, the new powerful men's fragrance by Paco Rabanne, a powerful elixir that transcends all boundaries. Now is the time to experience your moment of immortality, a rich, powerful, and long-lasting fragrance composed of spicy woods and intense freshness. The fragrance for absolute winners. The ultimate expression of victory. Never stop winning. You gotta love that. If they didn't catch you with the fragrance having spicy woods and intense freshness, they caught you with the fragrance being for absolute winners. The ultimate expression of victory. Never stop winning. Because of course when you see that, that's what you think, right? Oh man, this fragrance is for winners. I want to be a winner. If I'm not a winner, that means I'm a loser. I'm gonna buy it. I also want to shout out iFragrance Official, Parfumo, Now Smell This, all these websites with different information on these fragrances in case you want to check any of those out. So of course, bottle style here, your typical Invictus style with the V for victory on the front there, and this one given like that bad boy cobalt kind of paint scheme where you've got a gradient, darker at top, bluer at bottom with kind of a deep blue. Note breakdown, amber, frankincense, tonka, and vanilla. Not too much to parse from that, really. Those are all fairly standard notes in men's fragrances that you would wear during fall and winter time. Something on that sweeter spectrum with a touch of smoke makes sense. Of course, tonka, amber, vanilla, all serving a similar purpose there, warmth and sweetness. But they do say here that it is intense freshness and spicy woods. Now, when you look at that note breakdown, amber, frankincense, tonka, and vanilla, none of that screams to me spicy woods. None of that screams to me intense freshness. So that would lead me to believe that that note breakdown is incomplete, that there is more going on there. And of course, there always is more going on there. It's not just that simple where it's, 3 or 4 notes and then that's the entirety of the fragrance. There's more going on to it, but it does make me think that there's possibly a considerable amount missing from that breakdown there. Because with those notes, none of those are fresh. None of those are spices. None of those are woods. So yeah. Now, would I expect it to be amber woody? Probably. I mean, that's across a lot of men's fragrances right now, especially ones that are made for mass appeal, compliment factor, stuff like that. And, with the ride up here, you got to think that's what they're going for. So I think at this point, there's not a whole lot that you can glean from that note breakdown unless there's just kind of a breakdown in communication between the write-up of the fragrance and the notes. They do call it rich, powerful, long-lasting. I do expect it to have sweetness and a good amount of it because A, it's a Paco Rabanne, B, it's a Paco Rabanne Invictus. So I expect it to have that sweetness, but I'm just intrigued to see where the intense freshness is going to come from because it's not any of those 4 notes that are listed. I got to say, I'm looking forward to this one a lot. I like Invictus Victory, the original, a bunch. So I'm looking forward to the flanker. I am intrigued to see what seasons it's going to be used for because I'm assuming that this is not going to really hit shelves for at least another few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. I mean, they could rush it out sooner, but before too terribly long, a couple months in the Northern Hemisphere, a lot of the country in the US anyway, is going to be moving into early spring. So you wouldn't expect it to be ultra heavy and rich and winterized. Winterized? Yeah. Let's very quickly talk about the other Elixir fragrance. It is not for men, so I'll move quickly through here. Mugler Angel Elixir. And I just bring this up for a couple reasons. A, another Elixir, like I was harping on. And B, Mugler releasing another fragrance that's not for the dudes. Mugler, I implore you to reconsider. Put out some men's fragrances. Ones that are more interesting to people. Ones that people want to actually wear and buy. And I'm not trying to crap on the Alien Man line too much here. But you can't be serious that you went in and you were like, oh, pure malt? Nah, get rid of it. Pure Havana? Get rid of it. Ultra Zest, pure Tonka, pure leather. Get rid of all of it. Don't want to see it. Cryptomint, goodbye. And we will replace that with Alien Man and then a couple of Alien Man flankers that almost nobody cares about. I understand that they have their fans, but Pure Malt, Pure Havana are way up here. Okay, way up there. Alien Man Mirage, Alien Man Fusion, it's down there somewhere as far as popularity with the community anyway. So Mugler, get your stuff together. Give us something to be excited about. Anyway, Mugler Angel Elixir. This is the soul of an angel reinvented. An angel you don't expect. A pure elixir that expresses the heightened femininity of today's fearless super women. Innocent but powerful. Down to earth but unusual. Ultra sharp yet enveloping. With Angel Elixir, a new star is born. A completely original woody floral gourmand fragrance that reinvents what makes Angel Eau de Parfum so unique. Here, Angel's signature indulgence transforms into a floral Milky Way, encapsulated in Mugler's iconic star-shaped bottle, transforming into a bewitching navy blue. So this one has pink pepper, orange blossom, jasmine, ylang-ylang, sandalwood, amber, and bourbon vanilla. Another elixir coming to the ladies this time. After that, let's talk about the new Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Extreme. Carolina Herrera just riding that bad boy train as long as they can, which, to be fair, is a pretty popular fragrance with your average Joe. They did just do another limited edition bottle, which was just like the original Bad Boy rebottled into a gold bottle, which they've done a couple times now, but this one is an actual new fragrance. Carolina Herrera Bad Boy Extreme is a new fragrance for men, launched in 2023 under the Bad Boy Collection. And this release has 3 perfumers credited to it, so we'll see how that works out. It's a little hit or miss. Sometimes you have fragrance releases like this where they will credit many perfumers, and it just does feel sometimes like too many cooks in the kitchen, like it was not quite as focused as it should have been. But hopefully this will work out positively. And the perfumers involved are quite talented, of course. So holding out hope that it will be very successful here. Lots of notes in this fragrance, so quite different from the initial note breakdown that we've gotten for other new releases that have been announced here recently, like the Scent Magnetic had 3 notes. The Invictus we just talked about, 4 notes. So I'm gonna run through the note breakdown here for you guys. This one has a top of clary sage, bergamot, and ginger, a mid of plum and divana, and a base of vetiver, tonka, frankincense, patchouli, cocoa, and popanax. So that's the note breakdown according to iFragrance Official. If you go to Perfumo, they actually have an additional note in there of labdanum. Still yet though, you get a really good idea of what they're going for there with that note breakdown. Of course, what's gonna jump out to most people, probably gonna be that plum. Plum is one of those notes that has like a following. Every time that you bring up a fragrance that has plum in it, they're like, what was that? You said plum? Yeah, I want to try that. It doesn't always hit quite as hard as you would like. There are a lot of plum fragrances where the plum just isn't really all that noticeable, or it doesn't play as big of a part as you would like. But still yet, that definitely does jump out. Intrigued to see how that works with the rest of the note breakdown here. Cocoa makes sense. That ties it in with the Bad Boy line, as does Tonka. With a couple of these notes in here, I'm thinking that it's going to have a little bit more of a richness to it. Perhaps a slight smokiness would be pleasant. And with that clary sage, bergamot, ginger in the opening, this does read like one of those fragrances, at least according to the note breakdown. Obviously, I haven't smelled it, so don't know for sure, but as one of those fragrances that could be a nice kind of melding, a meeting of worlds to an extent, kind of like what 1 Million Lucky did, where you have notes in there, plum, that lean more toward fall and wintertime scents typically. But then you also have this great freshness to the fragrance that gives it more versatility. So it starts out quite fresh. As it dries down, it does get a little bit deeper, doesn't go full on into like a really heavy fragrance that would be wintertime only. And this kind of mixture of notes that you would typically associate with spring, summer, with notes that you would associate with fall, winter could work really well. I know that Bad Boy is not a line that a lot of people get jazzed about, at least in terms of the fragrance community. A lot of people are like, oh, Bad Boy, whatever. And you can tell, like with Bad Boy Cobalt, that fragrance came out and it didn't really take off in any kind of big way. But I would say Bad Boy Cobalt is a fine fragrance. It's a serviceable fragrance, and that one also had plum. And I'm wondering if with this one they're kind of taking a shot and trying to figure out the best way to take like different things from fragrances in the line to keep it consistent with the Bad Boy line while giving us something quite unique. That would be nice. So again, another one I'm excited for. And I hope that with these new ones coming out, these new flankers, the new Invictus, the new Bad Boy, the new The Scent, that it sets the tone for 2023 in a positive way. And I hope that these 3 don't come out and just stink the joint up. All right, there we go. Some new fragrances coming your way here in the near future. Let me know which of those 3 you're most excited for. Thank you all for hanging with me. Stay safe out there. I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you later.